Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What if I told you that the Commanders are potentially on the verge of making a move that could reshape their entire defensive outlook and shake up the NFC East? Yeah, it sounds wild, but the NFL rumor mill is buzzing with whispers about a blockbuster trade involving Nick Bosa, and it's hard to ignore the implications. Imagine a scenario where the San Francisco 49ers, sitting at 6'4" but struggling defensively, decide to part ways with their star pass rusher. The 49ers are reportedly eyeing a strategic rebuild on offense after some injuries, and they're looking to free up cap space, around $20 million, to make that happen. In exchange, they're reportedly considering sending Bosa to the Commanders, along with a first-round pick in 2026. That's a significant haul, no doubt, but the impact on Washington's defense could be nothing short of transformative. This move would send shockwaves through the NFC West, no question. The 49ers are still a formidable team, but their defense has been allowing an average of 23 points per game, and they're seeking to shore up their cap situation and focus on developing their offense after some key injuries. For the Commanders, this could be a game-changer. Nick Bosa, who's only 28 but already established as one of the elite pass rushers in the league, would instantly elevate Washington's young and promising defensive line. Think about it. A player like Bosa, a true game wrecker, adding that elite pressure, that relentless motor, to a defense that's been a bit inconsistent. It's like adding a shark to an already formidable pack. Suddenly, your pass rush becomes one of the most feared in the league. Bosa's profile is as dominant as they come. Even with some injury setbacks this year, playing only 3 games due to knee issues, his impact is still undeniable. Last season, despite missing time, he racked up 9 solo tackles, 8 assists, and an impressive 17 combined tackles, along with 2 sacks and nearly 9 sack yards. His career totals speak volumes: 55 sacks and a career PFF grade overall of 86.5. When healthy, Bosa is a nightmare for offenses. His EPA per snap hovers around 35, which indicates he's usually winning his battles at the line of scrimmage. His win rate, historically around 25%, and his pressure numbers, more than 20 pressures per year, show he's consistently disrupting plays. And with projections indicating he could still reach around 12 sacks if he stays healthy, the potential is huge. Let's talk about why the 49ers might consider this move. They're currently carrying a cap hit of about $20 million for Bosa, and with their focus on bolstering the offensive line after allowing 12 sacks in just 10 games, plus extensions for their quarterback, Brock Purdy, they need to make some tough decisions. Their record, 6-4, points to some defensive vulnerabilities, especially in their secondary, which has given up 3 interceptions so far. Trading Bosa, a proven star, would free up cap space and help them focus on fixing their offensive line, an area where they've struggled. Also, at 28, Bosa is still in his prime, and the Niners might see this as a chance to maximize his value before a potential decline, especially considering his injury history. Now, for the Commanders, the impact would be seismic. Bringing Bosa in would mean a jump from an average of 2.0 sacks per game to an eye-popping 3.5. That's a 75% increase in pass rush productivity. With Bosa's 25% win rate and his ability to generate pressure, his win rate is among the best in the league. Washington's defense would instantly become more aggressive and disruptive. His presence would open opportunities for others, forcing offenses to double-team him and freeing up the interior rushers and linebackers. This kind of elite pass rush is exactly what the Commanders need to elevate their entire defense. Additionally, the numbers speak for themselves. If we compare Bosa's current production to the average edge rusher in Washington, he'd be adding roughly 1.5 more sacks per game. His EPA per snap is around 38, which tells you he's a constant threat to the quarterback. And considering the Commanders' points allowed per game, around 28, adding a player of Bosa's caliber would help clamp down on big plays and reduce the number of scoring drives allowed. Historically, a trade of this magnitude has the potential to elevate the entire team's defensive metrics. Think back to the Mac trade that boosted the Bears' defense significantly. Similar logic applies here. The Commanders could see a jump in their overall defensive EPA, and that's exactly what they need to make a real playoff push. Speaking of the playoff picture, the Super Bowl odds would skyrocket with Bosa in the fold. According to Fox Sports, the odds for Washington to win Super Bowl LXI could jump from +50, 0 to +20, 0 if Bosa joins the team. That's a massive shift, and it's not just about the regular season. Bosa's presence in the playoffs could be the X factor that pushes the Commanders over the top. His ability to double-team and free up interior rushers could make a huge difference in tight games, especially against high-powered offenses like the Giants and Eagles. In fact, projections show that with Bosa, Washington could rack up around 10 more sacks in the second half of the season, which would be vital in close playoff battles. Plus, his presence would help the defense against run plays. He's versatile enough to contribute in run defense, adding another layer to the Commanders' overall scheme. Now some might wonder about the risks involved. Bosa has had injury issues, missing 7 games in 2025 due to knee trouble, but he rebounded strongly in 2022, finishing with 18.5 sacks. His explosiveness and motor are still there, and with proper medical care and conditioning, he can be a consistent force for years to come. The Commanders are known for their analytical approach, and their data-driven evaluation suggests that Bosa fits the profile of a player who can anchor their defense long-term. His addition would not only boost the team's immediate competitiveness, but could also be part of a larger strategic plan to build a dynasty around a dominant front. Of course, the trade isn't just about adding a star. It's about signaling a serious intent to compete at the highest level. The Commanders have been developing their young talent, like Jamin Davis, and adding a proven elite like Bosa would send a message that they're all in on contending now. This kind of move would energize the locker room, excite the fan base, and put pressure on other NFC contenders to keep up. It's the type of bold, franchise-altering decision that could define the next era of Commanders football. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, fans are already dreaming about what this defense could look like with Bosa rushing from the edge. Imagine him lining up next to Montez Sweat or Chase Young, creating a nightmare scenario for offenses. The NFC East's offensive lines, especially the Eagles and Giants, would have a tough time containing that duo. The potential for double teams and chip blocks would open up lanes for linebackers and interior linemen to wreak havoc. Plus, with the general improvement in pass rush, the secondary would benefit immensely, allowing the team to be more aggressive in coverage and better at forcing turnovers. And let's not forget about the bigger picture. If the Commanders can pull off this trade, it would send a message to the entire league that they're serious about competing at the highest level. It could spark a domino effect, encouraging other teams to make bold moves to compete now rather than later. The NFC East, already one of the most competitive divisions in the league, could become even more unpredictable, with the Commanders suddenly emerging as a serious contender thanks to this strategic acquisition. In terms of team chemistry, incorporating a player like Bosa would also elevate the leadership and competitive spirit in the locker room. Bosa is known for his relentless work ethic and intensity, traits that resonate throughout a team. His experience in high-stakes playoff games and his proven ability to step up when it counts would be invaluable for a young team looking to make a leap. The coaching staff, led by Ron Rivera, would likely see Bosa as a cornerstone piece of their defensive scheme, integrating him into a unit that already has potential, but needs that extra spark. Of course, there are questions about how the Commanders would manage their cap space with such a move, but with roughly $26 million available, they have some flexibility. They're known for being strategic with their cap management, and taking on Bosa's contract, especially if it's paired with a first-round pick in 2026, could be manageable if they structure the deal carefully. The long-term benefits far outweigh the immediate costs, especially if it means contending for deep playoff runs and possibly winning a Super Bowl in the near future. All in all, this hypothetical trade represents a bold vision. It's a move that could define an era for the Washington Commanders, transforming their defense from a good unit into a dominant, feared force capable of carrying them deep into the postseason. The NFC East is already a battle every year, but with Bosa in the fold, the Commanders could become the team everyone fears. It's a tantalizing possibility, and while it's still just a rumor for now, it's one that fans should keep an eye on. The league is always changing, and the Commanders are no strangers to making bold moves when the moment calls for it. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think a Bosa trade makes sense? Would you be willing to part with a first-round pick in 2026 for a player of his caliber? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Let's keep this conversation going, and as always, let's support our team through thick and thin. We're building something special here, and with moves like this, the sky's the limit. Thanks for being part of this journey, and remember, go Commanders.